Meeks of New York, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for your time.
Good being with you.
I know you were on with my colleague Chris Matthews Monday, and you said that you would support a resolution authorizing the use of special forces in Syria, and you also said that you would support arming and training the Free Syrian Army. That seems to be the president's plan. What opposition, though, do you expect within members of Congress?
Well, I think that the president has the support of most members of Congress on those items. I think that if there's any difficulty, and I think the only time that the president will have to come back to the Congress, if in fact something changes and there has to be a further escalation. But long as it is a multinational force. In other words, we have Sunnis in the Arab League and the Iraqi army, and we're training the Syrian Free Army, and hopefully we'll have Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and we have our NATO allies, and we're doing this in a collective manner. I think that the president, I think, has the authority, and I think that the Congress will move forward. Ultimately, the president has to come to Congress with reference to the budget. And I think that when we vote on the budget issue to allow the president to continue, we in fact are speaking as the members of Congress at that point.
Yeah, and the members of Congress have spoken before, but on this same issue, the president asked lawmakers earlier this year for $500 million to train and equip those Syrian fighters, and that was stalled on Capitol Hill. Obviously, we know the news cycle, the events in Syria and around that region have changed drastically. The murders of the two journalists as well now change the game. With that said, we could look at if-then scenarios constantly, but to your point, this is the proposal now. But you know the American people are worried that if these airstrikes don't work, if arming the Syrian opposition does not work, what then will the United States have to do?
Well, I think that this president, I don't want to jump in front of us, but I think this president has always been clear. And, when he said, for example, that the United States would be doing airstrikes in Libya, that's exactly what we did. Nothing more, nothing less. And if there was a change, he would come back to us. And so I think that he's laying out tonight, what he will lay out tonight is his precise plan based upon the game that's on the shelf right now. And that is making sure that we have the multilateral forces, United States in the air, fixing individuals who would be on the ground, because you do need folks on the ground. Just not United States personnel, but it will be from the Kurds, the Iraqi army, and hopefully for some from the Arab world, and we have Turkey and Saudi Arabia involved, and that working collectively, because everybody has an interest in this, especially those in the region also.
Let's talk about, again, the timing of the president's remarks to the nation. It's on the eve of the 9/11, the 13th anniversary of those events. What tone do you believe this president needs to take, especially given his history? And we know that this is a president who does not want to end his time in the White House as a wartime president.
Well, this president has always said, though, his number one premise is to make sure that we keep Americans safe, and he's done that. That's why he said previously, we've been doing this before. We've done it before. It's the way he went and got Osama bin Laden. It's the way he's been using drones to make sure that we got the leadership of Al-Qaeda, and we're going to do the same kind of thing to the leadership of ISIL. And so whether it be in Syria or elsewhere, and I think he's going to lay that out. And what he has done is in a thoughtful manner, not just an emotional manner, because I don't think that you do foreign policy based upon emotion. That's how we made mistakes before in getting into Iraq. But he's thinking it through. I just came back from Europe. In fact, and most of our European allies appreciate the deliberative manner in which the president has been thinking this thing through and putting this plan together, and they then will become solidly on board, and not on board just because somebody was trying to twist their arms or gave them some money to get them on board.
Congressman Gregory Meeks, thank you so much, sir, for your time. We greatly appreciate you joining us. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Now let me bring